2 Corinthians 3 verses 9 to 12. If the ministry that brought condemnation was glorious, how much more glorious is the ministry that brings righteousness? For what was glorious has no glory, now in comparison with the surpassing glory. And if what was transitory came with glory, how much greater is the glory of that which lasts? Therefore, since we have such a hope, we are very bold. 2 Corinthians 3 verses 9 to 12, the Apostle Paul explains the difference between the Old Covenant and the New Covenant. Here is a brief explanation of the verses. Paul states that if the ministry of the law, referring to the Old Covenant, had glory, verses 9, the ministry of the Spirit, referring to the New Covenant inspired by the Holy Spirit, has even more glory. In this context, Paul is saying that the New Covenant, mediated through Jesus Christ, has greater glory than the Old Covenant. Verse 10, Paul explains that while the Old Covenant had glory, in its beginnings, for example, when Moses received the law on Mount Sinai, that glory fades in comparison to the glory of the New Covenant. Paul highlights the greater glory of the New Covenant because of the ministry of Jesus Christ and the influence of the Holy Spirit given to believers. Paul says that if the temporary glory of the Old Covenant shone, then the much more glorious New Covenant should shine even brighter. Paul refers to the glory of the New Covenant, which offers justification, forgiveness of sins, and life through faith in Jesus Christ. Paul declares that the new ministry is conducted with boldness, because he has so much hope. As an apostle, Paul feels strong and courageous to proclaim the gospel and boldly serve others because he sees that the new covenant brings greater and more splendid salvation. In this passage of verses, Paul emphasizes the difference between the Old and New Covenants and a greater glory that can be found in the New Covenant through the work of Jesus Christ.